Hunter Initiate, I am most pleased to have this occasion to write to you, and to welcome you into the American Hunters Association. You will risk more than most could imagine, even for so righteous a cause, but should you succeed, the bounty will nourish more than just your wallet. The association has existed in various forms for many hundreds of years, yet its legacy is silence, and a world freed from monstrous, mindless, cannibalistic beings. Free from those empty, corrupted shells once human, now looking only to fill that rotting vessel with your flesh. You will have heard tell of what waits you in the wilds. Do not underestimate its vile power. I fear that my oath does not allow me to commit further details to paper. Suffice it to say, we stand shoulder to shoulder in this cause, though warn you I must. Not every hunter would say so, and you must remember that treachery comes in many forms. In high regard, Philip Huff Jones, M.D., Director of the American Hunters Association and Superintendent of the Louisiana Asylum at Jackson. Hello fellow initiates, it's DSDude464 here, doing what I can to prepare you all for the grim hunts we have ahead of us. And today I'm doing that by discussing the Hunters Association, specifically the American chapter. Now, once again, before we begin, I have linked my 2 videos explaining what Hunt Showdown is and some of the lore behind it in the description down below, so definitely check those out if you don't yet know what this amazing game is. Now let's jump right back into it. What I read to you at the beginning of this video was a letter to each of us from Philip Huff Jones, who is the director of the American Hunters Association and who also appears to be the superintendent of the Louisiana Asylum at Jackson. Now, what's really interesting about this is that there actually was a Dr. Jones that was the superintendent of the Louisiana State Insane Asylum and was appointed in 1874, which is around when this game is supposedly supposed to take place. He apparently used his own money to improve the hospital and make it actually livable, which, if our Dr. Jones is actually based off of that real-life Dr. Jones, it just really goes to show what this man is like, that he's a really, really great person, and he spends all of his time helping people, whether that's by assisting mentally ill patients or leading hunts against terrifying creatures to protect those who don't know about them. Now, another interesting thing that I was able to find out is actually that this desk we see here on our official site, this hunter's desk, belongs to Dr. Jones. We can see that this letter on his desk from Marie Laveau is addressed to Dr. Jones. In this letter, she asks him to take off his mask and face the darkness with her. Now, this makes me feel like Dr. Jones was first the director of the American Hunters Association and then became the superintendent of the hospital to hide his involvement with the American Hunters Association. I'll be getting back into why that's all important a little bit later into the video. But in this letter from the esteemed Dr. Jones, he tells us, the association has existed in various forms for many hundreds of years. So I have a couple theories for what some of those forms might be. Now, both ideas of these are actually secret societies that exist today, which I think you could say the Hunters Association could be definitely considered a secret society. At the time this game takes place, this first secret society's name was the Venerable Order of St. Hubertus. This order was named after Hubert, the patron saint of hunters. Right off the bat, you might be able to see why I think this might be one of the many forms that has existed throughout time. The society was created when Count Anton von Spork, sorry if I totally butchered that, started gathering the greatest noble hunters of the 17th century. And, I think it would make total sense if this Count Anton had discovered some demons and monsters in 17th century Austria and decided that the best way to take care of them was to gather the best hunters he knew to try and take them out. Now, this is most likely more speculation than anything, but it very well could have been one of the early forms of the Hunters Association. Now, the next society, though, that I found, I would actually bet my money on. I have reason to believe that the American Hunters Association has ties to the Haitian secret society entitled the Bazongo. Now, the Bazongo, once again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names, is a group that has its own government and society beneath regular Haitian society. In addition to this, they are founded upon the religion of voodoo. Now, this time I have actual proof to back up this theory. So first of all, the language Haitian Creole, which is one of the primary languages of Haiti, is very prevalent within the website. We have multiple notes on Dr. Jones' desk that contain passages of Haitian Creole. One of these notes, as I stated earlier, was from Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau was a priestess of the voodoo religion. She was very outspoken and known as the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans. And here she is, directly speaking to the director of the American Hunters Association. And we also know that voodoo was something that was very prevalent in New Orleans at this time, which is where the game takes place, or at least in the same general area. Now, the idea of what voodooists believe also really fits in with what the American Hunters Association is. The voodooists believe that there is a visible and an invisible world, and that these worlds are actually intertwined. Death is a transition to the invisible world, so our predecessors are still with us in spirit. They watch over and inspire us, which that right there explains so much about the game if that really is tied to voodoo. It can show where these monsters are actually coming from and why not everyone can see them. You know, maybe you have to have a special sense that you can see into the invisible world, or maybe these monsters are coming over to our visible world from the invisible world. It also explains where some of these supernatural abilities might be coming from as well, like the one we see in the video where he's able to see a path to the hint. It also sheds an interesting light on the bloodline system that is planned for this game. For those of you who don't know, this game has a permadeath feature. So if you die in a hunt, then you lose your character, right? But with a bloodline system, you don't lose everything. You keep whatever gear you didn't bring with you on the hunt, and more importantly, you keep your perks that you've earned. This idea that our predecessors watch over us in spirit and inspire us is perfect grounds to explain how we carry any earned perks into our next hunter. And I just think that is an amazing base for the bloodline system. Now, for my last bit of, I guess, proof for why they might be tied to the Bazongo, I found a description about the Bazongo, which is as follows. They were societies of the night, bound by oath and magical rituals at the crossroads of life and death. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that just sounds so much like the Hunters Association. And obviously, I don't know for sure if the Bazongo are like a different sect of the Hunters Association or if they are going to be a separate entity entirely. But I do believe that they are either allies or they do have ties to one another. Now, everything so far in this video has been complete speculation. But what I'm about to discuss next is some info I was given directly from one of the developers behind the game. If you remember from my lore video, I at one point discussed the Oath of the Night. Now, originally in that video, I had said that I believed the Oath of the Night was something that you would say in order to join the organization, but I was actually informed that that is not correct. Apparently, the initiation ritual is much darker. I was told that the Oath of the Night is much simpler than that. It's something personal and unique to each hunter because everyone has their own reason for joining the hunt. Each night or day of the hunt, they have a very specific oath for themselves that they use. Some write it, some chant it continuously, and some simply say it at the very beginning. It's like a mantra. It helps them focus on the task at hand. I was also told that the Oath of the Night for John Hayward Hunter was in his journal entry, but I wasn't told what it was. And so, I went and I thought about it for a while, and then it hit me. My name is John Hayward Hunter, and tonight I'm going to die. This is the 99th time I have written those words. I mean, come on, that has got to be our first look at an Oath of the Night. Like, that's just crazy. He's written it 99 times. I was told that it's something that sometimes they write, and it's personal to him. Something else I was told about the Oath of the Night is that it's exclusive to the American Hunters Association, which at first I thought was just interesting. But something occurred to me as I was researching today's video. What is something that may very well likely be unique to the American American Hunters Association? Well, the director is also the superintendent of the Louisiana State Insane Asylum. I found out through my research that mantras, which are described as phrases repeated to quiet the system responsible for your mind wandering, thinking about your past, or planning your future, are often used in psychology to help patients focus and achieve clarity. Now, more than likely, that doesn't actually mean anything for the game or even the story itself. But the fact that the devs have thought that deeply behind this just gets me so excited. The mark of a good author is somebody who plans out absolutely everything about their story. They may not ever even mention it in the story, but the fact that they've thought about it and that they've actually written it out and they know why it is that way is just amazing to me. It makes me so excited. And you know, you guys, I don't know yet what my Oath of the Night is going to be, but if you know what your Oath of the Night is going to be, I would love to hear it. Write it down in the description below. Remember, it's something that's personal to you, why you're joining the hunt, why you're fighting for whatever reason it is. Maybe it's for money, maybe it's to protect your family, whatever. It just also gets me so excited with it being personal because I am such a role player. I love that idea of really getting into my character, and this idea of the Oath of the Night is something that really helps you get into that. Anyway, that's all I really have now for the Hunters Association, and hopefully more info will be revealed as time passes, but for now, definitely stay tuned to my channel as I try to keep you informed as much as possible about all the news, info, and updates about Hunt Showdown. And remember, initiates, hunt together or die alone.